An automata is an abstract representation of a computing machine. It basically consists of a set of states and state transitions. A finite automata is an automata for which the finite set of states acting as its memory. And a deterministic finite automata is a finite automata without output, and it is a finite automata which is deterministic. In order to achieve this determinism, some conditions are to be satisfied. From each state, for every possible input symbol, there should be a transition to some state. It can be the same state too. Suppose there are two possible input symbols A and B, and there are just two states in the automata Q0 and Q1. From state Q0, for input symbol A, there is a transition to some state. For input symbol B, there is a transition to some state. From state Q1, for input symbol A, there is a transition to some state. For input symbol B, there is a transition to some state. It can be the same state too. So for each state, for every possible input symbol, there is a transition to some state. So here the condition is satisfied. Now consider this case. There are two states Q0 and Q1. From state Q1, for input symbol A there is a transition. For input symbol B there is a transition. But from state Q0, there is a transition on input symbol A, but the transition on B is not specified. So here the condition is not satisfied. Then the second condition is that transition should be unique. Consider this example. Here from state Q0, for the same input symbol, there are two possible transitions. So here the transitions are not unique. But here from state Q0, for input symbol A, there is only one possible transition. For input symbol B, there is only one possible transition. Here the transitions are unique. So here the second condition is also satisfied. Finally, the transitions should be made only upon some input symbol. Consider this example here from state Q0. Without seeing an input symbol, we are allowing a transition. Means we allow a transition on empty string or we allow a transition on epsilon. If such epsilon transitions are allowed, then it is no longer a deterministic finite automata or DFA. Here there are no epsilon transitions, so here the third condition is also satisfied. Now, based on these conditions, how can we define delta for DFA or deterministic finite automata? We can define the transition as for every state in Q, for each possible input symbol, a transition to a unique state in Q. For every state in Q, for each possible input symbol, there should be a transition to just one state or a unique state in Q. Now we can complete the definition for DFA. Q is the set of states, sigma is the set of input alphabet, set of input symbol, Q0 is the initial state, F is the set of final states, and delta is defined as Q cross sigma to Q. Now consider this example of finite automata that we considered in the last video. Let's see whether it is a deterministic finite automata or not. Here from state Q0, for every possible input, there are transitions. From Q1, for every possible input, there are transitions which are unique. From Q2, for every possible input, there are transitions which are unique. But from state Q3, the transitions are not specified. So now it is not a deterministic finite automata. Here, we need to accept the strings of length 2. If the string length is 3 or greater than 3, we should reject the string. So, if string length is 3 or greater than 3, automata should end up in the state Q3, which remembers that now the string length exceeded 2. Thus, empty strings are rejected, strings of length 1 are rejected, strings of length 2 are accepted, strings of length 3 are rejected, strings of length greater than 3 are also rejected. And here there are no epsilon transitions. From each state, for every possible input, there is a transition, and each transition is unique. Now it is a deterministic finite automata. Now we can define delta, or the set of transitions, for this example. Delta Q0A equals Q1. From Q0, upon input symbol A, move to Q1. Delta Q0B equals Q1. Delta Q1A equals Q2. Delta Q1B equals Q2. Delta Q2 of A equals Q3. Delta Q2B equals Q3. Delta Q3A equals Q3, delta Q3B equals Q3. These are the set of transition, and they define from one particular state what the automata should do next. Now, why it is called deterministic finite automata? Here, with all these conditions satisfied, we can achieve determinism. For example, suppose we give a string W to this automata. For that string W, the path followed by the automata and the state in which the automata end up, everything is completely determined by just this string W. For example, for the string AAAB, the path followed is AAAB, and automata will end up in the same state Q3, and that path followed and that ending state, everything just depends on the string W. For the other, if those conditions are not satisfied, there are different possibilities for the paths and there are different possibilities for the ending state. So here there is determinism, and hence it is called deterministic finite automata.